All right, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. One of the best parts about this being my own platform is I can go ahead and talk about whatever I want to talk about. And I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you as I lower the music a little bit. My day is not going well so far. And I'm severely annoyed. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this off real quick and just tell you right quick, like, all right, this is just me venting because I ain't where I'm gonna be in a year with regard to this platform. So I'm just gonna take this moment to just look. I bought this thing, all right, because I had some issues with my microphone when I was at the winter meetings, and I wanted to see if I can find a decent replacement. I opened it up this morning, and this little bitty piece comes attached to it, right? So I went to go see if I can find where I can hold this piece because it's so small that it'll get lost. While I'm doing that, I dropped it and I could not find it. And I lost my mind turning upside down my studio for like a whole hour and a half. My daughter even came to help me look for it. And after I sat there and held my and just and pulled all the hair out my head, an hour and a half later, it's in my hoodie. It fell in my hoodie, which is weird because I heard it hit the ground. Well, I heard something hit the ground. All right, enough of that. Well, outside of that, I also can't find the mic that I used out there at winter meetings. And then when I went to go have my mic bar right here adjusted down here, it broke. So I'm just having a bad day. So if I come off a little, that's probably what it is. But nevertheless, I wanted to use today, Friday, as home day. We're gonna go ahead and do Homer only, which means I want to talk about the St. Louis Cardinals as they have been involved in a lot of these discussions here in the offseason with regard including the winter meetings. Before everything even popped off, if you recall, Sonny Gray was one of the big moves that happened before the winter meetings occurred in his move over there to Boston. So St. Louis is still doing things. The next one that I think that I'm hearing about is Brendan Donovan, who was the All-Star in 2025. And I think that he's actually going to be on the move as well. Unfortunately, I don't like that one, but it is what it is. In fact, if you look at this entire staff right here, with the exception of the shortstop, young Mason Wynn, I don't think any of these dudes are going to be with the Cardinals much longer. Now, in the very back, you see Phil Maton. He didn't even make it through the season. He was traded to the Rangers and just signed a 2-year deal with them as well. And he was pretty good, even though he doesn't even throw that fast, which shows that stuff is still alive in MLB. But as for Nolan Arenado, I'm pretty sure they're trying to get rid of him, and they may have to actually pay some of that money down, even though Colorado still owes him about $10 million. And Wilson Contreras, who's the dude who I actually have I bought his jersey because that's like one of my favorite players on the team. He brings all the excitement. He out there eating cake, fighting with the people on first base. He out there staring down pitchers, and every time he get buzzed, he get hit so much, probably because he crowds the strike zone. But he makes the Cardinals exciting, in my opinion. So I think that these players were essential in the last couple years to just stay afloat. It's going to look real weird without having not named one of these dudes, even though Brendan's still in his mid-20s, Nolan's in his 30s, and Wilson's in his 30s, right? I think he might be 30, maybe at the very most 28. I will double check that before I misrepresent Wilson Contreras. Wilson. All right, this is one of the things I told y'all they were gonna be weird. Yeah, 33. That's what I thought. Okay, just pick that up right quick. So, what I thought I'd do today was go ahead and discuss some of the things that I got a chance to experience with regard to Cardinals personnel over this winter meeting session. And some of the folks that I got to meet are currently involved with the Cardinals. Some of them were involved with the Cardinals and are not as involved anymore. I'll go through all of that as I kind of stick through this. One of the ones I want to start with is one of probably the most recognizable Cardinals personnel members that we consider and discuss. It is none other than the voice of the Cardinals, Chip Caray, who is the grandson of Harry Caray. Now, Chip Caray is the voice. He does the play-by-play with the Cardinals. When you see or hear his voice, it normally comes with, well, we're now starting the Cardinals game up, and that will retire the side. And he had some really ill calls. I listen to damn near every single Cardinals game, and I prefer when it's done with Chip, who you see on the left, and that's Brad Thompson, I believe, on the right-hand side, who's hilarious. All right, these dudes have a lot of antics. And I just wanted to ask Chip, who I got a chance to see. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool because when I saw Chip, now one of the things that I could share with y'all is that I get starstruck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't. I'm still a regular dude, and I'm getting acclimated to the world of MLB baseball, Yeah, and I said that I know it's Major League Baseball, but I mean, baseball is not owned by the MLB. They just own the way that particular market is marketed and played. So baseball is not owned by anybody. It's a sport. Remember that. But yeah, I remember just watching as people were passing by and being like, I've seen him before. I've seen her before. I've seen him before. I've seen her before. And when I saw Chip, I was like, oh, it's Chip. And my daughter was like, oh my God, calm down. And I was like, yo, but it's Chip Caray, you know what I'm saying? It meant, you know, and so I immediately was like, all right, well, maybe he'll give me an opportunity to speak with him. And hopefully I'll get some new, but I didn't really have much to talk to him about other than the Cardinals. So I will share with you what it is that I experienced with Chip Caray. I do want y'all to see also what it was like just to walk, because for a brief moment, I actually sat there and just walked next to him. It's my daughter caught me walking next to Chip Caray, and it was just so cool for me. I just, you know, I'm sitting there walking. He's 6 foot something, and while I'm walking, we look like we best buddies. You know what I'm saying? We was just having us a good old time, not having a care in the world, just walking through the winter meetings like old friends who just established a connection with each other. It was really cool for me, man. So I would like to share with you what I actually was able to speak with him about. And let me get y'all opinion on this on the other side. And let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you found any of this interesting. Let's go ahead and check it out right quick. I just thought about this and I finally picture at the end. We bumped into the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals, one and only Chip Caray. How's it going, Chip?
I'm doing great. Happy winter meeting.
Chip, I'm going to skip straight to the point. You're one of the best announcers St. Louis has had, and I can tell you that one of the best things I ever heard anybody say is you are the father of Mr. Povich. Did you rehearse that line?
No.
Did you think of it in advance? There's no way in the world you couldn't have already had that written down,
no,
Chip.
I think it was Brendan Donovan. You are so Cade Povich's father.
Yes.
It just popped out. My kids reminded me that it was related to Maury, and I'm of a certain generation that actually did watch those shows. I'm ashamed to admit. So it's just one of those many things that pops out, and you wonder if it's going to hit or miss. And thankfully, that one I think hit.
And I loved it. I died laughing. I think I recorded it because it was such a good call.
Yes.
But how much preparation goes into those types of calls? Like, do you ever consider what you'll say at the end of the game well before the game even starts? Like, how does it work?
I really don't. I don't want to say I'm a seat of the pants guy, but I just think that whatever comes out is kind of like the magic. When a musician creates a song, the good Lord gives them those 12 or 16 notes, and they put them in the order that somehow works. And for me, I've always been able to somehow, some way capture the right words and match it to the moment, and then hopefully get the hell out of the way. So, no, there's no rehearsal. I don't have a Harry Caray. It might be, it could be, it is, or a Piersinzki. Holy cow. What you see is what you get, and what you hear is what you get.
You're underselling yourself, friend, because what you do have is a that will retire the side, and that already sounds really good, so we love that. You often speak about not knowing Harry as much.
Right.
But you have the gene. What is the process of still using what Caray had in his repertoire, but still making it yours? Because as a Caray, you're a Caray, but you're also Chip.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is a personality-driven business. You have to be you. And I used the musical reference earlier. Whoever your favorite guitar player is, they're using the same notes. It's how they bend the strings and how they use vibrato and how they use slides and how hard they percuss the strings. It's the same notes. You're just putting your own spin on it. And we're all thieves. We all steal from other broadcasters. We just find a way to make it sound like it's our particular mix of the stew. And you're right. Trying to be Harry Caray or Vin Scully or Jack Buck, that'd be the dumbest thing any young broadcaster or old broadcaster would do. Those guys are legends for a reason. They're themselves. You got to be you, good, bad, or otherwise. And I think that people have always respected, whether it's me, my sons, or my dad. Like I said earlier, what you see is what you get. You either like it or you don't, but you can't say it's not me.
Speaking of your sons, your son with the Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
You all got a chance to do a game together. What was that like? Like, talk about what happened off the camera, off the mic, that wasn't reported on that you can tell us about.
Well, I will tell you, it's one of those full circle moments. I remember when it was me back in the 1980s being the young guy getting a chance to stand in with my dad and my grandfather, and to see your kids dream of doing something, working hard to achieve it, and then getting a chance to do it, oh, by the way, with your mom and your dad with you for that very first time was really, really special. And look, we're all placeholders in this business. I mean, I have the greatest job in the world. I work for the greatest fans. I have fantastic partners. We have a lot of fun, as you know. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I'm just a placeholder, whether it's for my kids or for the person who follows me or the people who follow me. Mm-hmm. And I think we all feel a great deal of responsibility. We love baseball. I've tasked that onto my kids, and now it's time for them to carry that torch forward and see what they can do with it.
Well, your son definitely is going to be following some big footsteps. Speaking of people that you work with, Brad, I hear you sometimes. I'm sorry. Sometimes listening to the call, it sounds like you're having trouble not laughing.
Usually, yeah, that's true. Brad has a very quick sense of humor. I'll give you an example of that if I can. We were talking last year during another horrible Cardinals game, and I said, I had an interesting day today. I went to the grocery store, and I said, it's pumpkin spice season. And Brad said, I think they've taken the pumpkin spice thing a little too far. I said, you're right, Brad. They had pumpkin spice cornflakes. I said, I've never seen those before. Well, our stage manager, Kim Eberle's listening behind us, and she's going to her phone, and she shows me on her screenshot of her phone, pumpkin spice toilet paper. So I said to Brad, well, our stage manager, Kim Eberle, says there's actually pumpkin spice toilet paper. And Brad, without missing a beat, says, on the air, didn't know we had taste buds down there. And so, to your point, we both looked at each other and started dying laughing. So if you're listening to Cardinals broadcast and there's silence for about 7 or 8 minutes, it's because one of us or both of us has said something that is so stupid to us and to our crew that we can't function. So it happens at least once a week.
Some days listening to y'all, it feels unfair that you're getting paid because it's like you're having way too much fun.
We say that quite a bit, and we're really, really grateful that the Cardinals put up with our act. We're really grateful that the fans have been so welcoming of me, and especially during this time where the Cardinals aren't what the Cardinals are hopefully going to be in the near future.
Speaking of Cardinals, last thing, and then I'll let you get up out of here. With regard to the Cardinals, now that we know Heim time is upon us, do you think that some of the moves that will be made this offseason could potentially start to bring some of the fans back to Busch Stadium? I myself was sad to see that even when we were doing fairly well in 25, that fans still were like, nah, if it ain't the Dodgers, I ain't coming. Do you think we're going to start seeing that now, or we got a few more years to wait?
I hope so. Far be it for me to presume or say to the fans what they should or shouldn't do. But the facts are, after the 2022 season, from then to last year, the Cardinals have lost 1 million fans. That's a lot. That's a lot. And for the Cardinals to be successful, we need that fan support. The city needs that fan support because of the ripple effect of what 40,000 people a night bring to the ballpark. The way I've approached it for the last year and a half, and I'll continue to say it, come grow with us. The Cardinals are on the rebound. They have a plan in place. Don't know how long it's going to take, but at least there's a plan with young, exciting players that we can all get behind. And there's a new man in charge. It's a new chapter. It's a new start. And I think we're all excited to get ready and see where it takes us.
Chip, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your work.
We'll stick with the phone. It's all good. We're modern folks.
Take care, man. Go ahead. This has been Chip Caray. You good? Yeah, so that was fun. And if you noticed, it was very organic. Chip is clearly a rehearsed professional. I am blithering, blabbering all over the place. You can't tell. Didn't even hold the mic in the right place. I got the mic practically behind my front teeth, and you can hear all of the static. I'm clearly an amateur, right? And Chip is such an avid professional. I mean, he said he's been doing this since the 80s, and I actually learned that he's an Orlando resident. The dude lives in Orlando, and he used to call games for the Orlando Magic, as well as another young man named John Denton, who writes for MLB.com for representing the St. Louis Cardinals. So this was a kind of big deal to me to talk with this young man. I was a Harry Caray fan. I'm a Chip Caray fan. I obviously wasn't around too much for Harry Caray, but when you go back and look at some of the calls he made with the Cardinals and with the Cubs, you're like, yo, this dude was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got an opportunity to see the homie Chip Caray along with a lot of other Cardinals representatives. Here's a couple you may recall. Remember Carlos Beltran? Yeah, it didn't necessarily work out the way we wanted to when Carlos came over trying to replace what we lost with Pujols, but hey, it was an attempt. You already seen me talk about Xavier Scrubs, a former Cardinal as well. Speaking of former Cardinals, AJ Piersinzki, as we know, is also a former Cardinal. And I was curious about AJ's opinion about what direction the Cardinals are going in as well, especially with regard to management, because as you know, Ali Marmol, who I'll also give you a quick story about, was being criticized for the way the Cardinals were going. And it seems like they were doing a lot of weird stuff, like having Yadi Molina in the clubhouse alongside Ali before John Mozeliak left. So I was curious, as AJ did play with Pujols and with Yadi, what he thought about the prospect of these two possibly becoming managers somewhere in the distant Cardinals future. You're a Cardinal, low key, yep. You know what I'm saying? And you were there with, the big bats. And now this is Ali Marmol, my manager. I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan. It's his last year on contract. And there's been speculation about Yadi, Pujols. I mean, what do you think the direction that Chaim Bloom management-wise is looking if the year doesn't work out the way Ali hopes it does? Do you think they'll pivot Pujols?
I hope it's Ali. Ali's Dr. Phillips guy, Orlando guy.
I want him too.
So I hope it's Ali. I think it depends on how the year goes and how they mesh as a unit, right? New leadership comes in, you usually find a new manager. But Chaim's been there a couple years, so he knows Ali. He already had a chance to move on from him. He didn't. Good sign, but I love Ali. Ali's all sharp here, all in his suits and looking all hot and stylish, right? So I hope it's Ali, but if it's not, Pujols, the problem with if you hire Pujols or Yadi, it doesn't go well, then does it ruin their legacy as a Cardinal? It shouldn't, but it's a tough call. So we'll see what Chaim does. I love Chaim. I love Ali. I wish him the best.
Yeah. And then one thing, at least it'll bring a couple people back to Busch, but we want to win, not. Oh, yeah. Let's finish that combo.
What if Yadi comes back, God forbid, I love Yadi, and doesn't go well? Like, the people are like, oh, well, see, we knew we shouldn't have hired him, right? So, I don't know. We'll see, but I have faith in Chaim and I have faith in Ali.
Well, either way, we have faith in you, man, and thank you for giving us a chance. AJ Piersinzki with Foul. Hey, yeah, so AJ gave us a couple moments as well. And if you think about what he's saying, essentially, it's like, you got to let it play out, right? Because we don't really know what's going to happen. I just think that it's kind of funny. I also do believe that Pujols does have a future in Cardinals management. I don't know if managing the Dominican Republic is enough to qualify him as a manager for a Major League Baseball team. Seems like he came just this close to being able to be a manager when he was being considered by the Padres, the Angels, and even the Orioles. But all of that stuff went away. So I guess we're just going to have to see what happens with regard to Albert Pujols and Yadi and all of those cats as we start to find out which direction the Cardinals are going to be heading in. I think I ran into Albert Pujols. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I was like, oh, snap, it's Albert Pujols. You got to remember, like, I'm still a fan out here. But in addition to your boy AJ Piersinzki, these aren't St. Louis folks, but I also saw Lauren Shahadi, Matt Verskersian, some of these folks as well. I even got a chance to chat with the other side of the St. Louis media, which this is TV, but this is radio. Mike Claiborne, who is a member of the KMOX radio for St. Louis. He calls the games on the radio side. He was there, as well as Katie Woo. Katie Woo actually has Cardinal territory. She started that, but then halfway through the season, I think she decided, you know what, I came to cover a winning team, and this team's not necessarily winning the way I thought. So maybe there's opportunities elsewhere. I'm not trying to put that in her mind. I'm not trying to say that's definitely what happened, but it appears that could have been the case. So I'd like to give y'all an idea as to what happened with both of these folks. But first, let's go ahead and start with Mike Claiborne, who does still currently work for KMOX and does do the calls for the radio. Mike, talk to me, homeboy. To the point where you annoyed with hearing your own voice.
I'm tired of listening to myself, man. Between Cardinal baseball, I'm involved with our podcast network, STL Sports Central.
Yes.
And also I have an FM radio show on Sunday mornings called In the Best Interest of. It has nothing to do with sports.
Okay.
We talk about everything and anything. In between that, man, where else is me to talk? I'm good.
But you've been with the Cardinals for a long time.
This is year 21 for me with the Cardinals. This is year 45 for me in the business.
Ooh,
I started in 81.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen a lot in the
Some
game.
people say I've seen too much, but I'll wait till I'll write the book someday.
Let's talk a little bit of Cardinals. Okay, right now for the last few years, we've been seeing the Youngry movement. We've been seeing the Ower in transition, but now we've got Heim time.
Yes.
Right? What do you think the fans are going to react with? Do you think we're going to finally see them coming back to Busch
Yeah,
Stadium?
I think so. I think Heim is very transparent. He has a plan. He has been guarded to a point where he's not going to tell us everything, but the way he's approached things and understanding what's needed. Remember, Heim has been in the organization for a couple of years, so he's been able to assess everything. I think the most important thing he has to do right off the bat is extend Oliver Marmol, the manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think he's going to do that?
Well, he should.
He's only got 1 year left.
Yeah. Here's the deal. If we didn't have Ollie manager, we'd have lost 100 games.
Oh, that's true. And we could have won in 24.
Yeah. And all he needed was a little help.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. And obviously we need some right-handed punch. We can always use more pitching.
Yeah.
But those things are achievable. And you don't have to go out and spend $500 million on a player.
True.
I think you have to develop within. The Cardinals are sinking a lot of money in development and resources. Things you may not see on the field as we speak, but down the line you're going to say, oh, where did these guys come from? That's because we hired more scouts. That's because we hired more development and performance people and coaches that we were a little short on. We've added a ton of people within the operations side in the analytics department. And that's where the game is right now. So overall, it's a good growth situation. I think it's going to happen sooner than later because as you look around baseball, man, it's amazing how teams get healthy overnight.
That's true. That's true.
And a lot of them do it internally. And I think that's what's going to happen with the Cardinals. I don't think you're going to see them go out and overspend on players that can't help them win right now.
True.
But if they get in the hunt and they need something, they'll know how to go out and get it.
Speaking of needing something, we just traded away what some would consider our ace in Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Now we've still got some arms. We've got Kyle.
We're
who's
still searching though.
We've still got Lipitor.
Yeah.
We still got a few. Do you think we have enough?
No.
I know last year, if I'm going to be honest, our pitching was very suspect.
Bullpen was outstanding.
Yeah. Bullpen came
Starting
through.
pitching was
Especially
a little short. So in answer to your question, no, we're not there yet. So how do we get there? Do we give some of the young guys a chance? Maybe see what they have? You can always go out and find pitching. Now, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I think the Cardinals are trying to hold off on doing that and give their internal guys an opportunity before they decide to go out and say, all right, we need a number one or we need a number two.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a number one in the rotation right now.
Yeah.
So that's something. But why go out and spend that kind of money on a team that's not ready to win?
I guess so.
So we'll be all right.
In terms of being all right, one of the glue pieces, in my opinion, in 2025 was Wilson Contreras. And even though he got hurt toward the end and got hit, I think about 16 or 17 times, he was one of the veteran voices outside of Nolan Arenado. And he's clearly stated he wants to come back. Like, do you think that it'll be a completely different team, a different clubhouse without an outspoken tape-eating person like Wilson Contreras?
You're right. You need some leadership in your clubhouse. And maybe Wilson is a good player, but maybe he's not the leader or maybe doesn't want that role. He just wants to play.
Okay.
So having said that, do you move him and get something that can help you? Maybe you can, but you have to make sure you have the right chemistry in your clubhouse from a leadership standpoint. And I don't know if we found that yet. And that doesn't happen overnight either. Somebody's going to have to take the mantle and do the right thing at the right time.
True. Agree. Okay, so are we over 80 this year? What you think?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Over 80?
Yeah, we're going to be over 500 this year.
All right, Mike, I'm going to come and find you. If we're one under, if we're at 80 and not 81.
I talk so much, I'm the easiest person to find, man. Don't worry about it.
Mike Claiborne, KMOX, guys. Make sure we check him out. Thank you so much,
my
friend.
Pleasure, my friend.
We'll check you a little later. Thanks, man.
All right. Yeah, so Mike Claiborne, man, definitely hella cool. Gave me some gems right there. I like speaking with the OGs, especially when they got so many years. Did you hear the man said he had 21 years in the game? That's crazy. So shout out to Mike for giving me a little love right there. And yeah, for having some hope with the Cardinals, I guess is all you really can have at this point, right? And like I was saying, man, Mike wasn't the only Cardinal out there I saw. I did get a chance to see, even though it was a weird angle, the one and only legend, Albert Pujols, being hounded by every Latino play in Orlando in the winter meetings, as he should be, because the dude is a whole legend, right? I mean, come on, man. I mean, we know right now the Cardinals aren't necessarily up to par with what we expect them to be, but at least we know we still have a rich history chock full of folks like Pujols, Yachty, Mark McGwire, with the asterisks and all of that. So it's really cool to see a legend still get the respect they deserve, even if it's Carlos Beltran, who I only got to see without actually getting the chance to speak to. All right. Well, there are some others, like I said, as well, as we'll start trying to wrap this up real quick. In addition to these media members, Chip, Michael, of course, we have the younger generation with Katie Woo, who works for The Athletic. Katie Woo was one of my sources of information with regard to the Cardinals in 2025, as she had a podcast called Cardinal Territory. In addition to the articles, which I encourage you all read, she definitely kept us informed and even had some of the some of the Cardinals players on her podcast, which is something different because we don't normally get a chance to speak with the Cardinals players. All right, so that was kind of cool. The only thing about this is when I did get a chance to speak with Katie, unfortunately, my audio wasn't as good as it probably should have been, which I'm a little embarrassed about. So I think, and what I learned is that my daughter, who was functioning as my camera person at the time, I guess she would plug in the little part at the bottom for the mic, and it would say accessory not accepted, but she didn't notice it. So some of my interviews sound like trash. And unfortunately, Katie's is one, not only because my mic didn't pick it up, but also because Katie admittedly said that her voice was gone. She had no voice. All right. Now, Katie Woo also, in addition to her having Cardinal territory, recently moved over from the Cardinals to the Dodgers. So she now covers the Dodgers. She relinquished the Cardinal territory brand and podcast to the folks that was doing the Serve It Up podcast. And I believe that was Matt Holliday, Cal Gibson, Lance Lynn, and Steve. Well, the name is escaping me right now. But now we're in good hands with that. But she did kind of give us a little bit. So I want you to listen real closely. Try to listen closely because it's going to be hard to hear, but try to listen closely and you'll get an idea as to what exactly happened in her transition over to Cardinals, from the Cardinals to the Dodgers.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, Vince Taylor back with MLB Bros, and I have just been joined by Katie Woo of The Athletic, formerly of Cardinal territory. How long down, mademoiselle?
I feel a lot better than I sound, so let's just roll with it, okay?
Okay, let's roll with it. Well, listen, let's talk about it. It was a little disappointing for somebody like myself who's from St. Louis, who's a Cardinals fan, even though supposed to be a media. All right, we're going to cut that out. All right, and now we saw you leave Cardinal territory. You left us in good hands. Thank you. Can you talk to us about the transition? What went into the thoughts and decisions and about it?
Sure, it was difficult. I've been covering the Cardinals for 5 years. Cardinal Territory was my first podcast. I really enjoyed it. I love Foul Territory. Those guys out there are awesome. But as I was looking to see, my contract was expiring, and there was talk of going to the Dodgers. I thought, I don't want to leave Vince hanging, at least on the podcast. So we had over to a group of guys, Hayes, Cowboys, and Vince.
We would love to see whatever it is you put out there. And working with Bernie, that was quite a thing, right? Like, how you talk about like his contribution and how he came into the picture.
Absolutely. The thing I loved about St. Louis, especially as an outsider, I'm from California, but you know that St. Louis has such a rich history of appreciation, especially. So I thought, I read Bernie a lot as I tried to figure out what was going on with the team, past articles, past stories, and he is so respected by the fan base, and we have such different presentation styles that I thought they would complement each other, and I really liked the conversation with Bernie. I thought it was a good plan.
I don't know if it's out of bounds to ask what happened with Trevor. I remember Trevor was there in the beginning, and then we kind of mentioned that Bernie loved both of them. But can you provide for that?
Trevor's awesome. I just saw him today at the Baseball Systems team breakfast. And it just, he's a father of 3 kids, 3 girls, they're all under 14 years old, traveling a lot. Just felt like it was a big commitment. I totally understand. I felt that way too. 3 episodes a week, full-time travel schedule. It was a lot. So it wasn't that, we just didn't get along or anything. It was just like, hey, this is a big commitment that made us enjoy.
going to pause it and just recap what's been discussed thus far, because clearly it's difficult to hear. So the first question I asked her was, what was it like working with Bernie Miklos, who was the other half of her podcast, Cardinal Territory? And she said that basically it was a really cool thing to work with him, as he and his energy kind of complemented her energy. She also said why she ended up going to the Dodgers as a reporter for The Athletic. It had nothing to do with the lackluster, I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. She didn't say that, but she basically essentially said her contract was expiring with the Cardinals. Okay. And then she had other opportunities. And who wouldn't want to, let's just be honest, who wouldn't want to cover the Dodgers right now? All right. Let's just keep it real. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of when it comes to wanting to cover the Dodgers, because the Dodgers is all that right now. I'm just going to keep it real. So I harbor no ill will. I had no feelings about her saying, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and rock with the Dodgers, because I mean, the Dodgers is hot right now. And they're not even like angry hot. They're not even like asshole hot. They're like good. I like to watch you, even though you're not my team hot. Like, who doesn't want to sit and watch Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani on the mound? Who don't want to see Shohei come up for that first at bat when he's the leadoff hitter and he comes up? Even though I prefer he use the Nina Simone version of Feeling Good, he comes up with that Michael Bublé, and I'm feeling good. Who doesn't want to see Freddie Freeman knock those home runs in those clutch moments? I mean, and they go to the playoffs even when they ain't trying. They got folks on ice that they reserve. Whoa, am I froze? Okay. They got folks that are on ice that they reserve for the playoffs only. Like, you literally damn near didn't even see Kike until the playoffs, or Miguel Rojas, and they both ended up being hella clutch. So I don't blame Katie for saying all of that. Now, the next few questions, I believe, are going to involve the Cardinals a little bit more, and we're going to try to see as best as we can if we can hear what it is that she says here. Take it away, Katie.
Last year, the Dodgers thought they fixed those problems, but Kirby Yates wasn't on the playoff roster.
Right. And what happened is they someone to the Dodgers. I don't really think to worry about anything, right? It's true. This one surprised me. I know I've been on the beat all of 2 days, but this one did surprise me because for such a long time in this offseason, the Dodgers, were looking at 1 to 2 year deals, and it seems like 3 with such a high AAV. I think it speaks to just the market being underestimated, just what it would take to land a premier closer. So then they go out and, of course, get not just a premier closer, but the best closer, like the closer, correct? And now you're looking at Tanner Scott in that setup role, and bounce back here from him. There's sort of Radulov coming back from injury. Brock Stewart will be a little delayed, but he'll be back as well. Roki Sasaki, he'll be a starter. So, thanks again. Surprise. Look pretty good in Los Angeles.
Yeah, all right. Before I let you go, I know you, Chip, Brad, you all had a good camaraderie over the years. Just talk to us about leaving St. Louis, what it is you love the most about it, if anything, you know what I'm saying? And also the vast difference there may lie between St. Louis as opposed to Boston.
First, I love St. Louis. I've heard so much.
You better.
Always. Through 4 T-Raps, holding it down.
Yes,
you know?
yes, okay.
Right. I just, the fan reception really took me in, and when you're beat writing, to be able to share that with a fan base that cares so much about the team, that makes it really special. The broadcasters, Chip Caray, Brad Thompson, Mike Claiborne, the whole coaching staff, and my best friends in St. Louis, Alyssa Dad, Emily Stevens, Tamar Sher, all those people. So the community in St. Louis is what makes it difficult to leave. And then, of course, the challenges of going from mid-market to large market speaks for itself. But I'm really excited about California, so to be able to go home means so much to me. So to St. Louis, I'm just grateful for the experience.
Well, listen, we were grateful that we got some time with you in St. Louis. You covered the game so well, and everyone's so angry. You know what?
Yes, thank you, Katie. Thank you very much. But obviously, you all can see now that it is very important for me to invest in one of these right here. Because but you see what happened? Like, I don't know why we could not hear her. I was so hot when I saw the interview and was like, bro, I can't hear her. And she's not the only one. This also happened to Cliff Floyd's interview. This also happened to my Carlos Estevez interview. This also happened to my there was one more interview it had happened to that I was a little upset about.
But yeah, man. So that's why I went through the trouble of reinvesting and other stuff. But yeah, Katie Woo is definitely going to be missed on the St. Louis beat. But here's the good news, y'all. I was able to get the number. So not that we're going to be best friends, but hopefully she'll answer my text, and every now and then I might be able to get a quick 5-minute rendition of her as to what's going on with the Dodgers. We essentially now have a Dodgers insider in our phone, guys. Isn't that cool? That's dope, right? Yes. Thank you. So one more time, the shout out to Katie Woo for giving us a little bit of time to get a better understanding as to what happened with Trevor Rosenthal. I don't know if you heard that. He was a member of their podcast at first, and he decided, I guess, we got a lot of family stuff going on, nothing bad. And yeah, she now is officially a Dodgers beat repper, and she did return my text when I hit her up just to say thanks for giving me an interview. So big ups to Katie Woo. Thank you once again for giving us some time. And I wish you the best of luck over there in LA. Now, I was talking to y'all about some of the other people that I got a chance to visit. Well, there's also some folks that I didn't get a chance to. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, this one hurt a little bit because I literally came this close to interviewing Ali Marmol. Like this close when I tell you the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, ever since Mike Schild was fired for philosophical differences, he literally spoke to me. I had shook his hand. I talked to him. He said, I can't talk to you right now. It was about 1:45. He said, you gonna be here all day? I say, yeah. He said, all right, I'm gonna be right back around 3. I went back around 3. I ain't see him, but it's all good because I know it's business, right? But then I went later just to see if I saw him around, and I saw him. Where he said he was going to be. So I went over to where he was. He was talking to a few representatives from St. Louis. I went to go turn my mic on because I had them both on my belt, right? I went to go turn it on. I'm turning it on. I'm looking, I'm getting everything together. I look up, I take it off. I'm about to go over to him, and he's gone. He disappeared. And I was like, Deja. I asked my daughter, I was like, yo, where'd he go? She's like, I don't know. I was like, yo, where is Ali Marmol? Where is Ali Marmol, bro? Like, don't do me like this. Tell me where that man is. And she did not know. I'm like, you just let that man slip through our fingers like that? Like, for real? Like, you ain't even going to try to tell me that you ain't even attempt to look for him? Come on now. So I did make a real quick video just kind of giving my just kind of just talking about how I didn't actually love the fact that Ali Marmol did flip through my fingers. And for those that are unfamiliar, this is Ali Marmol, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. He is from Orlando, but lives in St. Louis, played for St. Louis in the minors, and ever since, like I said, I believe it was 2021 or 2, he actually managed Pujols, Yachty on their last years in 2022 in that swan song that they both had. And yeah, man, he's been a dope representative. I like him. I really do. He did come up under Mike Schild as a bench coach, right? But at the same time, he did not become Mike Schild. As we all know, Mike Schild has been drenched in turmoil since he lost his job with the Cardinals and the Padres, both teams that were playoff caliber at the time. But Ali Marmol's a whole gangster, bro. Like, I like him. If you watch one of his last games where Jordan Walker had a ball go off his foot and he still tried to run to first base, but they called him out. It was like, it's a foul ball. And I never seen Ali had his hoodie on. He looked like this. He went up to the dude. He was like, yo, it's a foul ball, man. I said, it's a foul ball. You fucking know it's a foul ball. I don't fuck about all that. I swear I'm going to find it. I'm going to put it in with this. But this is my story of what happened when we tried to get Ali Marmol to this is just what in real time. This is what it was.
Let me tell you how I came up here, and we was this close. Like, when I say this close, I mean like this close to talking to Ali Marmol. And I literally went over to him because he said he was going to talk to me, right? He left. He said, I'm going to be back round 3. We went back round 3. He didn't show up round 3. But then I see him a little later, about 6. I went over to where he was, and I went to go pick up my mic and stuff so I could interview him, right? I looked down, I looked up, and he was gone. And this one didn't even look. This one didn't even look for him. She wasn't even looking for the target. You know what I mean? So I lost the interview with the St. Louis Cardinals manager who gave me the interview. But maybe next time.
Yeah, so that sucked a great deal, but it's all good. I mean, what are you going to do? These are the things that you have to deal with. Obviously, there's a lot of bobbing and weaving and a lot of unexpected occurrences that happen when you're sitting there dealing with media, especially in a room full of folks that are 100% into what it is that they do. I mean, they've been doing it for a while. Oh, look at Ali's family. Wait, I don't know. This might not be. I don't know if that's still her girl. I don't know if this is still Ali's woman, if I'm being honest. Is it? I don't know if this is still his woman. Because I feel like I've seen him with somebody else recently. Yeah. I don't know. If it is, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because the one I saw most recently wasn't the one that I was like, yeah, that's not it. Yeah. So if this is Newberry, go ahead, Ali. I see you, homeboy. You better. And I bet you, bro, when he was in Orlando, he was all around all the little Puerto Ricans out here. Probably learned a little Spanish too, just cause. That's what you got to do around here if you want to stay relevant. All right, let's go ahead and start wrapping this here up, man. Oh, good Lord, man. This is the longest 20 minutes I've ever spent. Okay, so like I said, the Cardinals have been, whether or not they've been at the forefront, they have been in postseason talk. You got the Sonny Gray trade to Boston, who's already talking trash to New York. You got Brendan Donovan being floated around, as well as Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, obviously not Mason Wynn. I believe he's the franchise, and I don't know if everybody's going to be willing to admit that, but I think they need to go ahead and franchise that dude. They probably won't because they know he's going to ask for more money, but nevertheless, all of these former Cardinals or current Cardinals was dope for me to be able to get up with this weekend. Now, let me go ahead and wrap up with this. So, hold on. Yeah, I had no more Cardinals, right? That's it? I finished all the Cardinals stuff? Yeah, Cardinals, just make sure. Yep. Okay, all the Cardinals stuff is gone. All right, so when I'm watching baseball being covered, sometimes something crazy will happen, right? Something unexpected will happen in some way, shape, or form. And oftentimes when this happens, the announcer or whoever it is that's on the mic, on the TV, or on the radio will say, oh, man, I didn't have that on my bingo card. And then I'd be like, well, who plays bingo like that? What are you? Who are you? Blanche, Dorothy, Rose? What is this? Cocoon? But I start thinking about it. You know what? It might not be the worst idea to keep a bingo card. Maybe just to make things a little more fun. Just when it comes to knocking people off in certain categories. So you know what I did? I came up with an idea. I think I'm going to actually start using bingo cards just so that I can keep track of who is being traded and who is being acquired in the realm of free agents. I want to keep it for the current time being with free agents. So I want to introduce y'all to something that I call free agent bingo. Let go. All right, so take a look at this right here, y'all. Let's take a look at this right here. So I have free agent bingo on the mind. And if you're curious, here's some of the folks that I have on free agent. Now, just keep it real. Free agent bingo is just the thing that I'm doing. But I think we could play along with this at home, and I hope to get some of my homeboys involved too. So there's still hellas. Like when I say hellas, there's hella free agents. Like, I mean, there's literally like, dang, there are 100 free agents remaining in the industry. I don't got enough time. But what I did was I wanted to narrow it down to who I thought was going to be acquired the soonest. And so what my goal is to get through this bingo card as soon as possible. The quicker I get done with it, the better I am with making predictions with regard to these free agent acquisitions. So, having said that, I did make myself a bingo card that I'm calling for right now the free agent
bingo card. This is my free agent bingo card. And it look a little son like that right here. Look at that. All right, so this is my free agent baseball card, my free agent bingo card right now. And let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So if you notice, I don't have a whole lot of pictures on my bingo card. All right, I'm a position player follower more often than not. I probably would have been a position player if I kept playing T-ball, right? So this is what I think. These are my predictions, and I hope that I can get through this quicker than not. So as you see, we've got Cody Bellinger on the top. I truly believe he's going to be one of the next ones to go. I just think that they're waiting each other out, the New York Yankees and the New York Mets, to see who's going to strike first with the number, and whoever strikes first is going to go ahead and, the other team is going to counter offer. So we'll see what happens with that. Harrison and Bader to go from the Twins to the Phillies and to be completely utilized. I mean, just to be a beast in both of those. Like the dude has I think a career 3.7 batting average. Like this dude, I don't understand why he's on the market so much. I mean, he's a little older, but not a whole lot older. He's not like in his 40s or nothing. So I feel like he should be there. Pete Fairbanks, this dude coming out of the Rays, yeah, I believe that he's going to be acquired fairly soon. Pitching is a hot commodity right now. And while we're on the subject of pitching, Tatsuyana Imai, who's like, I ain't trying to mess with no Yankees. I ain't trying to mess with no Dodgers. I'm trying to beat them Dodgers. I think he's going to get acquired, and I ain't going to lie. The way that the Orioles moving right now, especially since they had Tamagotchi Shigano last year, who's now 37, who was a really cool Asian pitcher when he was in his prime, but now necessarily may not be falling off. I think that might be a good move. Orioles, Baltimore, are y'all listening? Huh? You listening? All right. Mr. Eli, get on the phone. Michael King in terms of pitching also from them Padres. Now, I'm going to keep it real. My prediction is he stays with the Padres because they just got rid of Robert Suarez. They now don't have Yu Darvish for the next year. They really, really need pitching. And it feels like their window is dwindling, since they actually made it to the playoffs and damn near defeated the Dodgers in 2024. Sir Anthony Dominguez, I got a feeling that the Blue Jays may run it back with him. They acquired him in the middle of the season last year, but he's now on the market. A little older, but still got heat coming out that arm. Ha-Seong Kim, he's a really exciting dude to watch. He had a real messed up last couple years. I saw the play where he slid into second base, messed up his shoulder when he was with the Padres. Padres went ahead and shipped him over to the Rays. The Rays shipped him up to the Braves, and now he is on the market again. This is a qualified shortstop who I believe will do well with any team he's put on, but I think it might be smart to put him on a team that's in contention because he will hold it down. Now, he's not a slugger, but he's a hitter. So keep that in mind, and your defense is going to be stacked, which it may not be with Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette necessarily not a huge defensive player, but the bat checks. I think it'll be a mistake to lose him in Toronto, but if you think about it, they did make it to the World Series without Bo Bichette, and we could argue that they wouldn't have won the World Series without him because he did have a big knock for a 3-run homer. But at the same time, if they can make it to the World Series without him, then you could assume that they might be able to try to run it back without him. Kike, still one of those dudes who gets put basically aside in a glass case, break glass in case of playoffs. And that's what Kike is. He comes through, he handles his business only for the playoffs. Now, before that, he's like he bats in the ones. Okay, he bats in the ones, but he's also high utility. Put him outfield, infield, he'll hold it down. I think he's going to be on the list of folks that goes probably well before spring. Looking at Luis Arias, we're talking about a dude who keeps his batting average over 3. He's not going to hit the ball out the park that much. Not going to steal bases. He's not even great at first base, but at bare minimum, he's good for getting you on base. And OBP is not nothing to mess around with. You down with OBP? Alex Bregman, everybody's talking about this dude, but he didn't have like the breakout year in Boston that everybody thought he was going to. I thought he was going to go up there, and I know it was a little weird thing with him and Rafi Devers, but come on, man. I don't know. I don't frankly think that he's going to have this huge impact wherever he goes. I heard that he's possibly thinking about, or they're in talks with him getting signed to the Chicago Cubs, which I think does make a big deal, especially after they gave Isaac Paredes back to the Astros last year. They definitely could use that veteran presence in Chicago, but we'll have to see if he goes quick. Munataka, I can't wait. Now this dude's on a limited time stretch. Like somebody got to pick him up before January. So I put him on there because I know that's gonna happen. So I can't wait to come back here and show y'all who all has been struck off my list. Cal Tucker, where do I think Cal's going? It sounds like the Blue Jays, but if I'm being honest, if I was the Yankees, I would also be looking at Kyle Tucker as a potential acquisition. Maybe even looking at him in terms of possibly money that I might want to instead of Jazz Chisholm, because I heard Jazz Chisholm is starting to be shopped a little bit, and that's sad because I know he loves it up there in New York. Our attention he's getting, good or bad. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Kyle Tucker. I also wouldn't be surprised if I saw Kyle Tucker go to the Dodgers. All right, as it sounds like they're also entertaining the potential for Teoscar Hernandez to be given to another team, possibly the Royals. All right, and if they get rid of Teoscar instead of putting him in left field, then that leaves right field, unless they're putting Mookie back out in right field open. And who's going to play right field? Kyle Tucker. He's got a good bat. Defense may not match the bat, but at bare minimum, you know you're going to get. Well, I think that's a lateral move, but that's just me. The only thing you get better is age from that deal. All right, talk about Marcell Ozuna. I feel bad. Marcell Ozuna, former Cardinal. He didn't have his breakout year in 2025, but he literally was the entire Braves bat in 2024, and I think that there's something that says something. Now, maybe this last year was a result of injury, but I'm just hoping that he has an opportunity to bounce back, because Marcell Ozuna, I think, is a big Ozuna from the Braves. I don't know if he's gonna be with the Braves no more, but I hope he gets picked up. Framber, he's definitely going somewhere. I frankly still think that Framber could have the potential to go to the Mets. The Mets need somebody to have faith in. Right now, they don't. They do not have that. You don't have faith in Sean Manaea. You do not have faith in Kodai Senga. Is Kodai Senga? No, in Kodai Senga. You do not have faith in McLean. I mean, yeah, he was good, but he's still untested over long term, right? Over long periods of time. Jonah and all of those other cats, Jonah Tom, like there's no, your rotation is your biggest weakness right now. All right. So it might make sense for them to start at least considering a Framber, but I know Steve Cohen don't like to pay pitchers like that, so it's a good chance he won't get him or Ranger Suarez out of the Phillies, who is honestly still kind of weird that he hasn't been resurfaced. I think what it is, the Phillies is like, look, we want Ranger back, but his market has gone up so high. I don't know if we really need him back, especially if we're getting Zach Wheeler back, so we can get a better Aaron Nola, especially now that we got Chris Sanchez, who's trying to be, who looks like some version of an ace in itself. Maybe they're saying, you know what, Ranger, you're getting a little older and maybe you're not necessarily necessary, or maybe it's not a necessary. Maybe it's just we just can't cover it with all of the expenses we have, especially now that they just signed Cal Schwarber for that 150. We all remember that, right? Yes, we remember Cal Schwarber 150, 5 years. Okay, and finally, oh, there is it. That's it. So this is my bingo card. I hope man, I don't know. I hope I can get the bulk of these before Christmas or before January, but I get the sense that might not be the case. Look for that bingo. I'll circle back and we'll chat on it. And hey, while we're at it, man, I hope I can get some of my homeboys into the bingo thing as well, man, as I think that's pretty cool. So this has been Friday, talking with y'all on a hometown ordeal, whereas we discussed the Cardinals, the baby bird, and what's going to happen with Wilson Contreras. We don't know. I hope he stays. That'll make my jersey more valuable, because I did get me a Wilson Contreras jersey. We got two silver and we got a silver slugger and Alec Burleson, and a gold glove and Mason Wynn, which gives this team, I think, a little bit more confidence than they had the year before, even though they're going to have less tools. No Nolan, there's no Goldie, may not be Contreras. And man, if they take Donovan, it's really literally going to be just the kids playing at the park. But we'll see. As for you guys, I sincerely appreciate each and every last one of y'all. If anybody did pay attention, it don't matter. I already expect it to be low for the time being, but I hope to build a little bit. So pull back up. Like I said, always like, comment, share, comment, because I don't know anybody watching unless somebody say something. And please, you a baseball dude, then come on, check us out, man. This is On the Black, baby, where we're going to go ahead and cover baseball like chocolate, and that's with flavor. Hallelujah. Catch y'all on the flip. Let go.
Storm.